you know, the rule, the game is not over yet.
Right, but the question I wanted to ask you, the point I wanted to make is that the idea of string theory as a predictive theory and as a theory that is a theory of everything is what a tiny minority of string theorists use string theory for these days. So what I do and what most of my colleagues do is use string theory as a theoretical tool for understanding strongly coupled problems.
It's a very, the mathematics, as I tried to say, the mathematics of string theory have been very useful, imported into other areas, particularly strongly interacting theories. And so there's been fascinating results. And so one can't deny that. But if you're as old as me, and I'm a lot older than you, that it's sort of ironic to see those very people who are touting this as potentially theory of everything saying, no, it's really useful as a tool in these other areas. It is, but it's a huge disappointment compared to
and I completely agree with you. I think it's fair to call it a failure, even though it's had what I view as quite amazing accomplishments as a theoretical tool.
Okay, so it's a theoretical tool that is not a failure. Okay, but as a model for understanding the world, in particular for understanding the four forces in nature and unifying gravity, quantum mechanics, and predicting the fundamental parameters of the world, that's been a failure.
Yeah,
that's what it was designed for. And that, you know what's great about science is it's true about all of science. You never know where it's going to lead. So good ideas are useful in many, and string theory is an example. Hard work generally pays off. And there was a tremendous amount of hard work developing the mathematics of string theory, and it's paid off in another area. There's no doubt about it.
Not if you're Sisyphus. But the thing is, now I'm confused, because can we have an example, very briefly, of something that string theory was actually useful for, in terms of science, not in terms of developing more complex mathematics? That's great.
Well, so one thing that is currently under consideration is using this idea of holography, or NECSS to study systems in condensed matter physics. So yeah, I think it's not completely clear if there's an experimental prediction tied to this yet.
But no, there's
understanding.
That sounds like the same kind of problem.
No,
but there's what you're working on. Actually, by the way, one of my students is one of the people who applied string theory to condensed matter. I'm very pleased with his work there. But another area is that many of you know I've written about Richard Feynman, and Feynman developed these things called Feynman diagrams, which are what we use in particle physics to try and calculate processes. And literally, it was problems with those Feynman diagram calculations that led people to the notion of string theory as a different way of solving this problem in the 1960s. And it didn't, okay? But it turns out that what string theory gives you is a mathematical tool that allows you to sum an infinite number of Feynman diagrams, which you couldn't do in any finite time without that mathematics, and try and get results about theories for which you couldn't get predictions before, strongly interacting theories. So that's where I think the mathematics of string theory has been quite useful.
Yeah, I agree.
Next question?